Welcome. Let's do some goal setting. Now, this could be in January or any time throughout the year. So jump on board, open up your workbook, and let's go through the goal setting process together. I'm going to share my screen so we're working through it at the same time, and I recommend that you pause the video if there's times where you need to work on some activities yourself. Let's have a look. Now, what I might do is I might, for now, keep it through the workbook area rather than sharing the screen too large. So I'll just make this a bit bigger for us to look at. So the first page we're looking at is a reflections piece. So page 1 of 12, right now, risk and opportunity. So what do I mean by right now? Well, right now, I want you to document what are your thoughts? What's going through your mind right now when you think about goal setting? Now, you might be writing things like, let's see if I can put some text in here. You might be excited about it. You might be apprehensive, right? You might be thinking when it comes to goal setting, finally. You might be thinking right now, I've already got a plan. Or I've never done this before. And everything in between. I want to know where your thoughts are and pop them in there. Okay? Now, what is the risk? So I want you to spend a moment to think about what is the risk if you were to not goal set? If you were just to let the year and let your life unfold, what are the risks involved with that? Jot that down. Have a think of up to 5 risks that are, if you were to do nothing, what could happen? Now, see how there's more down the bottom? This is a positive space to be in because what are the opportunities? What are the opportunities that now you've carved out some time to decide, right, what am I going to do here? What are my goals? Let's take control of my career, my life. What am I doing? And what are the opportunities now with you doing this? Could be, I finally get to my goals. This is the year that I make it happen. I finally are clear on where I'm going. I've got something that I can share with my employer. I can share with the rest of the team. I've got something that is front of mind so that now I know what I'm looking for. Jot that down. Now let's move on to the next page where we're going to reflect on what worked well. So my win is, and I'm proud of this because related to the salon. So what are things that happened in the salon that you feel like, I'm really proud about that? Now let's move along to personal. What about you as a person? If you reflect back, now you could do this over the last 4 months or the last 12 months. What is it that you feel really proud of? That you think, you know what, I'm really proud that I accomplished this. I'm really proud that I overcome this, that I'm finally doing this, that I can say that I'm this. What are those things? Let's acknowledge those things. Then move along to what about your team? Let's acknowledge the people that you're working around. And what are the wins that you can reflect on relating to your team? Now, what about your clients? Let's think about what are some of the client experiences that you've had that you may have transformed a client. Let's note some of those down. Now, what are you most excited about? Oh, in the salon, you're most excited about what? And list the 5 things that you can't wait for that are looking ahead in the salon. What about you personally? What are you excited about? What are you excited about at the team? And then what are you excited about when it comes to clients? Now, you might like to pause the video and work on this. Now, let's look at the 9 engine rooms for team. And you may have seen this for the salon owner that they might have come along to an event like Boss Retreat or a planning day, and they had something like this. This one is for you. How exciting. So this is how it works. What you're going to do is you're going to get a dot. Let me find a dot. There's going to be my dot, right? And you're going to put a dot where you feel best represents you. So you're going to need to put 9 dots. So let's start with mentoring and mindset. So if this was your superpower, this was your strength. So superpower, it would sit about here. Strength would sit around here. Weakness and problem. So let's talk about if it was your superpower, you would be owning your results. You would be open to coaching and mentoring for yourself and for others. You would be supporting new team members that are coming on board, perhaps apprentices. You will be setting personal growth goals and helping encourage the team with those goals. You've got to that next level of excellence in your learning, that you've developed some skills and that you want to share that with others. That's the real mastery when you get to a skill level. So where do you think that your mentoring and mindset is sitting in your leadership skills here and how you're helping others? Okay, let's look at your average sale. So when you're thinking about you in the salon right now and you're working with clients, I want you to think about how you would rate yourself. Do you understand and value that trust that is built with a client, and that you can make tailored service treatment suggestions? You can create small service goals. You track what you're doing with your clients. You might be looking through who's coming in for the day and looking for opportunities before the client has arrived, so that yes, they might be booked in for a service, but you're always offering suggestions to improve your average dollar sale. That is your superpower, because you know that the client doesn't really know all the things that they need and would benefit from. So when they're coming in and they're seeing you, that you're there to be able to provide advice to say, you know what, this would really help your skin, your hair, your nails, whatever it might be. If that's your superpower, you're going to be popping a dot here, or you might be putting it down. I think that's a real problem area, wherever you feel is the space for that. Let's just pop it here for now. Now, marketing and visibility. Now, sometimes this can be a fun area for some. Sometimes it can be a real problem area. So what I'm talking about here is that you represent the brand. So wherever you are working, you fully embody that brand and you represent that in your work, in the way that you present, in the way that you interact with clients, and the way your work's presented online as well. So you might be taking before and after photos, you're tagging, you're putting up stories, you're encouraging people to do Google reviews, give you testimonials, you've got lots of word of mouth referrals, you're handing out your business card. You are an absolute superstar. That is your superpower when it comes to marketing and visibility. Rate yourself and pop a dot where you think best represents you. Now, let's talk about retail confidence. If this was your superpower, this would be that you would have, I'm talking 70% client to retail ratio, meaning that you've got at least 30 clients coming in per week and you've got 20 units and more retail units going out, right? So the 50% is 30 clients, 15 retail units going out. So let's have a look. Yeah, so if we're going to see, let's say 20 retail units going out, yeah, that's about 66%, so close to this 0.6666, close to that 70%. So we're aiming for that. We're delivering that each time because we're confident in prescribing things to clients. We see them come in and we know that they might only come to us for 8 visits a year. However, we can help them every single day of the year with the products and tools that they can take home and use to recreate that look with their hair, their skin, and the nails. I'm really, really confident in our sales presence when it comes to that because we're educating, we're not scared of the word that it's selling, and we're mirroring the client's words so that that builds rapport and trust. Engine number 5, customer service. Now, this is an area where a lot of people feel like, yes, this is my superpower. Let's dig deep onto this area. Because if this is your superpower, you are wowing your clients time after time. You're really listening to them. You really know all about them. So if I was to ask you after that client leaves, what's the vision this client has for their hair or their skin or their nails? Where are they going with this? What are the challenges that they have? What are the sensitivities that they have to certain ingredients? What are the products that they have at home? Where's the holes in their home care? How much do you really know about them? Where are you doting over them? Where are you loving these clients and showing that you love what you do and you love them? You're giving them eye contact. You're really listening. You're not doing their service and chatting to somebody else at the same time. You're making them feel really seen and heard. Where would you rate that in terms of your customer service? Now, I'm going to throw another one in here. This is not about you being interesting, not about your exciting life that makes you good at customer service. It's about you being really interested in them. Okay, let's talk about rebooking and retention and where you're going to rate yourself in here. So, rebooking retention, this would be sitting, your rebooking rate would be sitting at about 80%, 75, 80%. You're a rock star here. You're making sure that clients know that not all things can be achieved on this one appointment. Let's create an exciting plan. I'd love to see you in 4 weeks and we need to be able to do this. I'm going to send you home with these products and you're going to be helping looking after the hair, the skin, the nails, the feet, whatever it might be, to rebuild the strength, to whatever it might be to help deliver, help support the delivery of that result. That's something that's coming up, okay? That we are not going to the point of sale and saying, did you want to rebook? It's already decided. You might even be that clever that you say, I've done a courtesy rebooking for you. Yeah, I've booked your next 5 appointments because you're a very important client to me and I do not want you to miss out. I would rather you call me and let me know that you can't make it. Good one. You use those scripts naturally. You're following up on lost clients, see where are they, what happened, giving courtesy calls to see about people coming back in, and reminding them they're due for their appointment. Where would you rate yourself? Is that a superpower, a strength, a weakness, or a problem? Now, let's think about team and culture. This is where you are supporting the teammates and celebrating the wins. We're not a one-man show here. We're part of a team. So how are we collaborating about that? Sometimes at the start we can feel like it's enough trouble looking after myself. But as we grow and develop, we want to lean in and help our team so we all get there faster and we all get there feeling much more joy in the workplace. So you're showing that you're reliable. You're going to be there. They know that you're going to be there to be able to help them if they fall behind, that you might help prepare things for their client, set the station up, set the room up, that you're going to get there on time or early so that they're not worried about, oh my gosh, is so and so coming in today, that you run tightly to time so that they know that they can book clients in with you. You got this. You're supporting others, you're supporting their growth, you're supporting the flow in the business, and you're high-fiving everybody. You're also giving critique to help people, support people. Where do you think you would rate yourself there? Okay, now we're looking at engine room. I think we're up to engine room number 8. Yes. So for this is around your skills and knowledge. Is it your superpower that you have high technical skills? So you know about, let's say you're a hairdresser, you know about all of the skills relating to that craft, beauty therapist in your space, nail artist, whatever space that you're in, that you have got a very high level of skills. You're curious and coachable. You're attending training. You're prepared when you're in training. You're asking questions. You're applying feedback. You have got, let's think, you've got an education plan for yourself that you're working towards. You're using as much opportunity to learn and develop, because if we're not growing, we're dying, right? And pop a dot there on where you think it best represents you. Now, the last one is around time management. So if this is your superpower, you're aligned with how the salon books. So if the salon says this takes 30 minutes, you make sure that it's done in that 30-minute time frame. And if not, and the client needs more of your time, that you're really competent and confident and be able to charge extra for that. You're organized and stay on time for clients. Your daily setup and your close down routines, or your tidying up after a client, is really swift. There's no dilly-dally there. You use downtime to be as productive as possible. You balance work and education and rest. There's some harmony that's going on in your life. So give yourself a score through there. Now, by now, you've got a dot in all of the areas through here. Let's just move some dots here, just for the purpose of this exercise, because the next part is I'm going to get you to qualify this, because I think of this goal setting process is a little bit like a Dyson vacuum. It's going through all these filters. So the next thing I want you to look at is what's coming down in the weakness or maybe the problem area. Okay, so that means they're the areas that you're going to really focus on. And this could be your 4-month goal, because we often work in 4-month sprints. So looking at this now, we're going to choose 1 to 3, what we call big rocks or goals here. But before we do that, we need to know this. What is going to get you to your target quicker? So if you were to work on your average dollar sale, are you going to get to your target that you have with the salon quicker by working on that? Or what are these other ones in the lower area? If you work on customer service, will you? If you work on developing your skills, will you get to your target quicker? If you work on your time management, would you get to your target quicker? Okay, so write down your answer there. Now, next, I'm going to get you to ask yourself, right, of all those things, what will make the biggest difference? If I work on this thing for the next 4 months, my average dollar sale, customer service, or whatever is coming up in the lower end, might be some more that are down here, right, as a team player here. What is going to make the biggest difference? Pop that there. And the last one is what weakness keeps me exposed. And what this is looking at is, of all the things, if you do not work on this thing, you could be in trouble. So for instance, it could be that you are amazing with clients. You're hitting the numbers, your clients are loving you, but the team culture is out of whack. You've built some resentment on the team. They don't feel that you're reliable. They feel they just look after yourself there. While that could cause a massive problem in the selling environment. Could be that. It could be that you're flying by the seat of your pants and you need to update your skills, or that your time management is all over the shop, and that means that you're not reliable for the clients, you're not reliable for the salon and the team. Whatever it might be, you're going to put that there. Now, you might end up with 3 of the same things written down, or 3 separate goals. That's okay. What it's doing is helping you qualify. Think really clear about, what do I need to be working on? Right, so this is where we look at your professional goals, and you're going to decide what are the 3 things that you're going to be working on. and you write them down here. So one, it might be that you say, I'm going to be working on increasing my average dollar sale. Two, what? Now, what I'd like you to do is think about this being a SMART goal. So I'm going to write this down so you remember what this is. SMART goal is specific, measurable, time, no, achievable. Oh, I didn't spell that right. Relevant, all that, and time framed. All right, let's fix that up. Relevant. Pop another E in here. Achievable. Okay, beautiful. So a SMART goal, see how it goes, SMART, is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time framed. Right. Increasing my average dollar sale. Not really specific, but increasing my average dollar sale to $150 per client is specific. Is it measurable? Yes, because you can see on your performance summary that you've done that. Is it achievable? If you're now making $50 on average per client and you want to get it to $150 in 4 months, perhaps not. Is it relevant? Yes, absolutely. But if it was how to be Olympic javelin thrower, right? That's not relevant. Or if it was that I want to be masterful at braids, but you don't have many braid clients in the salon and your salon owner is not interested in developing that, well, it's not relevant, okay? Because it needs to be helping the development of the whole salon team that we're part of too. And is it time framed? So average dollar sale increasing to $150 per hour is only time framed if you say by this date and you choose a date. Okay, so remember to make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time framed. Okay, now pause the video and do that first. Right, now that you've done that, what is the definition of done so that you know that you have achieved it? Now, this is because I want you to be really clear on what would you need to see and know that that is done. So average dollar sale, $150 average dollar sale might be that you look at your performance summary and it says on your scoreboard, your scoreboard might be a better one, scoreboard, that over the last 6 weeks, you've averaged $150 average dollar sale. Boom, that's it. Let's think of another goal that might be retail confidence. So your goal might be to sell 15 units of retail a week. How will you know when you've achieved it? I will look at my scoreboard and see that on average I'm selling 15 per week. I will see that I'm preparing consultation forms, that I'm putting products out, that I'm making notes before my clients arrive. These are the things that I'll see that I'm doing when I've achieved that, because I've nailed it by doing all of these things. Right. Number 3, what could be a big rock? Skills and knowledge. So you might say that I want to get my timing down to, let's think it was a service that normally takes an hour and a half and it's taking you 2 hours. So how will you know when you've achieved it? That you've timed it over, let's say 10 appointments, and on average that you've hit that mark. What are the things that you'd need to see? Brilliant. Okay, let's move right along. Okay, this is about you and stepping into this space of, I might just get rid of this red line there. Show margins and excuse that red line. We don't need that. Get out the danger zone. There we go. Okay. What will I bring and do differently to make sure this will happen this year ahead? This is where I want you to think about your mindset going into this. Now, over the right-hand side of the page, I want you to finish off these words here. And some of you might know the answers, but I'm going to give you, the rest of you, the answer here. O stands for ownership. Write that down. A, accountability. R, responsibility. Ownership, accountability, and responsibility. When you're above the line, which is where we want to be, we have ownership, accountability, and responsibility. But when we're below the line, we have blame, B, excuse, E, denial. So write that down as a reminder. Then go back over to where it says mindset. What kind of mindset? How do we want to think? What's the thoughts that are going through our mind? What's our beliefs that we have? Behaviors. I'm going to smash this goal. So my behaviors are going to look like this. I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna plan out my day. My morning coffee is going to be with my daily printout, and I'm going to put 3 suggestions with each client. What is it that you're going to do? What behaviors are you going to do? Because if we do the same behaviors as we've done before, we're not going to get a different result. We know this. So what behaviors are we going to have? Then I want you to think about, well, what's going to be your word for the year to help you remember this? So mine was, for this year that I'm creating this, amplify. So my word for the year was amplify. I want to amplify my activity. I want to amplify my results. I want to amplify my impact. What will it be for you? And write down your word, because when you hear that word, it will remind you, right, amplify. Yes, I need to amplify my activity, or whatever it might be, helps you connect in with what your big rocks are. All right, crew. Let's move on to our next page. This is about your personal goals. So let's take a moment and think about, what is it that you want in terms of beauty? What is it that you want in terms of nutrition? And whatever these words mean to you is completely right. What is it that you want in terms of travel? Where's your goals when it comes to travel? What about your body? What about your soul? What about those hobbies that you've been thinking about and haven't done? And what about your savings, right? How much money we wanted to be making sure that we got in the savings account. Spend some time now to jot some things. Those ideas that were spinning around in your mind, pop them down there. Press pause on the video and do that now. Now, the next part I want to look at is personal development. So following on from your personal goals, I want you to think about, what do you want to do next year and develop your personal development? Because when we work on ourselves, then it really helps us be a better performer, makes us a better team player, also helps us create greater results in the salon with our clients. So we have a number of programs and they look a little bit like this. And I want you to read through to decide, what would you like to be part of, so that you can tell your employer, hey, I'd love to sign up with this. So these are the things that we offer currently at Boss Coaching. So the Apprentice Accelerator is this, all of these programs actually are 6 weeks and they're delivered live. The Apprentice Accelerator is for somebody that is earning $0 and they want to get to $1,500 weeks, and they need some help on tracking sheets, on marketing, and keeping themselves accountable in growing through to be that apprentice that is nailing $1,500 weeks. Confident conversations could be for any level, but you're feeling like, I'm struggling a bit when it is building rapport with clients, what to say. I feel like sometimes I'm chatting and I say something and then the conversation kind of goes a bit awkward. How do I get through that? The next one is booked and busy. If this is for you, this is somebody that wants to really fill up their appointment column. They're struggling on, why have I got so many gaps all the time and I just can't seem to retain them? Booked and busy is for you. The next one is sales training. So we've got level 1 and 2. And so you must start at level 1 first. And this is building the fundamentals of your strength, your confidence with sales conversations. And then level 2 is mastery of that. Okay, the next level programs Firstly, there's a trainer. If you would like to be an apprentice trainer in the salon, you need to know some frameworks on how to best deliver training and hold people accountable, including ourselves in that. Then you might be an in-salon trainer, so you're training all levels, skill levels in the team. Then you might have an opportunity to be an educator, and this is where other salons might come to your salon and you educate them. And again, you must go through level 1 to then be able to go into level 2. Front of house training, and this is if you have an interest in organizing all the things front of house, meeting, greeting clients, answering the phone, the reporting, the policies and procedures, the systems, how we do things here, that's your jam. You would be part of front of house training level 1 and 2. Again, you must enter at that level 1 and then to 2. The next areas are in management training. So you start off with leadership and management. Again, all of these are 6 weeks. You see me every week for 6 weeks. And in leadership and management training, we're looking at who does what out of the salon owner and the manager, learning how to give feedback to team, learning how to lead the team, and really step into your role as a leader and manager in the salon. Managers Academy, you will get an automatic invite once completing leadership and management to come along to that. So it's only if you've completed leadership and management, and this is a regular coaching and mentoring group for managers. Now, boss manager mentors, you have to have completed leadership and management and been some time in Managers Academy before you get invited to be manager mentors. And this is where you get to actually delivering some sessions to the boss community as one of their mentors. Now through here, we've got the pathway, so you can visually see how the pathways go. We've also got strengths training. So my partner Laurent delivers strengths training. The assessment is about currently $35 to do an assessment, and that may change. You can do the assessment yourself and you send that to us, and everybody on your team is assessed. It's a psychometric test to understand how it is that you do things, where your superpowers are naturally, and then what we do is help integrate that with the team. So we do 6 weekly sessions, team team building exercises and discussions around how we're going to handle this kind of situation. Who's got the strength that's going to help us overcome this? Or which one of your strengths are you going to use to overcome this challenge? And this is a really fun team activity to do together. It won't be with other salons. This will be just for your salon on your own, and we'll organize that time. Okay, so what I'd like you to do here is have some really good critical thinking time about the programs that you'd like to be involved in, yes or no, and why. Like, think about why do you want to do this? Because the salon owner is going to be looking at this with you. I encourage you to discuss this with them, and you're really selling to them why you think that you should be off the floor and come along to these sessions. What's the benefit in this? What do you want to do with this training? So the first part is these sessions up here are masterclasses. So which one do you have an interest in? So goal setting, that's what this one here. So just say yes because you've done it, right? Done, loved. Self-mastery, we're going to be working on how to understand yourself better. Power booking, this is a session that you will be looking at how to make the most out of your day. 6 human needs, that again is, but this one is a free test where you uncover your drivers. NLP will be a session on neuro-linguistic programming, and I'm going to give you a window into what does that actually mean and how would that affect you in your life and at work. Boss mode is a session where you learn how to step up and be the boss in your own life. It doesn't mean that you have to be the boss of the salon, boss of you. Leadership starts with self-leadership. That's what that session's all about. And rebooking is to help boost your confidence and your strength and skills around rebooking. So go through, put yes or no, and if there's a yes, we want to know why specifically you're interested in that thing. Hope you've enjoyed your session today on goal setting and you're really excited about achieving these goals that you've listed down. All the best.